Hello there and welcome back to Star Wars Nerdiness. I'm sorry we haven't uploaded in like a month. Just January was a very busy month for us. We had like semester tests and all that, but we're back now. We're going to go back to uploading consistently, and now is a perfect time to return to YouTube because we just got easily the best Book of Boba Fett episode. There is just so much to unpack from this episode, but I think for today's video we're going to be focusing on the character of Luke Skywalker and everything that happened with him and what his future will look like in the Star Wars franchise. So yeah, my favorite Star Wars character, Luke Skywalker, is back. He has returned, and I just want to start out by saying that the visual effects on his face have actually significantly improved from last year's episode when he returned to The Mandalorian Season 2. I'm actually someone who really defends the effects of his face in Season 2. I actually thought, the effects were actually really good in Mandalorian Season 2. But yeah, these are just easily more realistic. He's more, he can actually do more. We actually see him using his lightsaber, without like a hood up. He actually, uses the lightsaber and you see his face. It's just really cool. And I actually think this episode gives us Star Wars fans a deeper look at what the future of the character of Luke Skywalker will be in the Star Wars franchise. At the end of today's episode, Grogu is presented with a choice. He can either return to the Mandalorian or he can continue his path as a Jedi. And I actually think Grogu will be returning to Din Djarin, and I think that'll be what he chooses, because when you look at season finales, the job of a season finale is to wrap everything from the season and tie everything together. And the only way they could do that, the only way they could actually incorporate the Luke and Ahsoka stuff from this episode into the Boba Fett finale is if Luke and Grogu go to Tatooine, and if Luke goes to Tatooine to return Grogu to Mando. And that would be really the only way to actually tie that storyline into the, Boba Fett storyline. So then if Grogu's going back to Mando, does Luke Skywalker have a future in the Star Wars franchise? At least, in terms of the Mandoverse with these shows between 6 and 7, between the originals and sequels that are all connecting. Does Luke still have a role here? And actually, I do think he does. Because even though he is giving Grogu back to Mando, I feel like he will be giving Grogu back to Mando. I actually think this episode actually set up what Luke will be doing afterwards in these shows. I actually think he will be playing a major role in the Ahsoka series, thus why Ahsoka shows up. I think the reason for Ahsoka showing up, and they even kind of talk about how they are going to keep in touch, the reason for that is because Luke Skywalker will actually be teaming up with Ahsoka, probably to go, help her find Ezra Bridger in the unknown regions, and I actually think that will be Luke's role going forward. Because what I'm starting to realize about the Mandoverse is that actually all of these shows are going to be this one continuous story. We don't know they're eventually going to lead up to a climax. But when you look at the Mandoverse, The Mandalorian is about Mandalorians, obviously, rising up in the era, post-Empire. In the post-Empire era, it's all about, Mandalorians rising up, probably to retake Mandalore. The Book of Boba Fett is going to be about crime lords rising up and, rising in the era post-Empire. And Star Wars Ahsoka is going to be about the Jedi rising up in the era, post-Empire. So Luke Skywalker would have a perfect role, and it would make perfect sense for Luke Skywalker to be in the show about the Jedi rising up after the fall of the Empire. And it's just so great seeing how they're handling the best character in all of cinema. I obviously loved Luke Skywalker in the sequel trilogy, but oh my gosh, I have always wanted to see him, in his prime, post Return of the Jedi, just a few years after Return of the Jedi. I've always wanted to see him when he was in his prime and his Jedi Order was in their prime, and we're finally seeing that. They have actually mastered visual effects to where they're able to do so much with this character. I never thought, even just a few years ago, I never thought we'd actually be able to see Luke in this era when he was probably at his most powerful, and now we finally get to see that. So yeah, I'm a very happy Star Wars fan. As always, thank you all for watching, and may the Force be with you.